Ladies and gentlemen, we are live and ready to go on this wonderful Easter Sunday. For those out there celebrating, happy Easter. We are the Wrestling for Life Network. We have your WrestleMania XL preview and predictions coming your way. Me and these two pretty faces have all the matches covered. We're going to dive into all of it. Get in that chat, say hello, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Strap in, strap on. It's going to be a fun show. Let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We are live and back at it again, folks. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network, and this is our WrestleMania XL preview show. Coming up next weekend, we got our Mania Marathon. We got a busy week here on the channel. So much to get into, so much wrestling to watch, and we're going to be here for as much as we humanly possibly can be. So it's going to be a fun one. But I will remind everyone out there, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit share. We always appreciate the shares. But I will remind everybody out there, I am Mr. Every Night, KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. That's Anthony. That's Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its tag team trios champions of the world. The Every Night Delight, KJ White, and the chapeau that runs the show, Anthony. How are you doing, gentlemen, sir?
I am doing well. It's WrestleMania week. I'm super excited. We got so many things happening, indie shows, WrestleMania itself. Yeah, it's a fun time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, definitely tons going on around the wrestling world, which is good for business, good for us. Lots to talk about, including this big show that's coming up next weekend. But you see all the shows kind of around it as well. We're going to be watching some of those. Nick, we're going to take in Bloodsport. We're going to try and take in some other ones. Should be a fun week here on the channel.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and even you've got Stand and Deliver, same night, even same day, even as WrestleMania Night 1 of it's WrestleMania seems to be the global, epicenter for pro wrestling for a weekend once a year.
That's it. Come together. Yeah. So I hope everyone out there is having a wonderful weekend. Thank you for spending part of it here with us tonight. I hope everyone out there is having a happy Easter. Happy Easter to both of y'all. So I hope the weekend has been good to everybody. We are definitely going to get into this. We will talk to the chat a little bit. I see it filing in. I see a lot of happy Easters and a lot of hellos from our friends. So good to see you. Good to see you. We will get to your thoughts as well as we're probably going to debate some of these predictions and possibilities as we move on. But without further ado, do we want to start our WrestleMania preview with, like you said, Stand and Deliver?
Yeah, I would feel so. I mean, it's going to be the first show of the weekend. I think you kind of have no choice but to start off there.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, the first match on the docket, we don't actually have an official opponent yet because we will find out on Tuesday who is going to take on Braun Breaker and Corbin. Nick, I think you had the three options that were coming that way.
LWO, Axiom and Frazier, aka Not Man and Robin, and also the OC.
So one of the three. Any early predictions? And I guess we'll start with Anthony on this one. Who will face the tag team champions first and foremost?
So the OC's been kicking around in NXT from what I can tell for a minute, couple of weeks there. Seems like they're trying to build something strong with them. I'm gonna say the OC is gonna face the tag team champions at Stand and Deliver.
Fair. I mean, not a bad show. I'll take the LWO. I mean, I think they're still trying to make it a bit of a focus and everything. Okay. Oddly enough, and I think that they work well in NXT. You're not wrong with it being potentially the Good Brothers. I'll let you give your suggestion first, KJ, because I have a feeling that there's a certain obvious result, at least on one side. Not saying the results one side, but yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with, I'm going to actually agree with Anthony. I think the OC was brought down there for a reason. I think Tama Tonga's still in play. And I think that they win not only the tournament, they will also beat the Wolf Dogs because Braun's bye-bye.
Well, And that's part of what I was going to say. I think that Braun Breaker and especially Baron Corbin attached to it, they're done with NXT. So I think whether it is LW, any one of the three teams that wins that match, I feel like are going to be the team that wins the tag team titles.
Okay.
So you don't see the champs retaining?
No. Well, like you even said, Braun's going up to SmackDown. I think Corbin follows suit. Whatever. And you could have them in the probably new SmackDown tag team division.
Oh, I like that. What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah, I didn't think about having Braun Breaker and Corbin in the tag team division on SmackDown. That's actually something interesting. I know with Corbin going back down to NXT, he's kind of, rejuvenated his career in a way. So yeah, seeing him in the tag team division with Braun Breaker on SmackDown, I kind of like that.
Yeah, I don't know where they would put Braun outside of the tag team division. I mean, if you do him solo, you've got to break this pairing up, I feel a little bit. So, and especially if, spoiler alert, down the road, we split the tag team titles or anything like that, you need a solid tag team division. So I think this is a solidified tag team that you could add in there that you could slot into your tag team titles specifically for SmackDown, and people will be fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I like them as a team. I think they've developed good chemistry. They found a good groove. They're kind of funny. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah, I would say now I don't keep up with NXT, a lot, but I did know that there was a feud between these two, and that turned into a tag team. I know it was a major feud with Corbin and Braun, so that turned into a tag team. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, they went into
they've finally been the team that could coexist. They're the two dorky Kurt Angles that just somehow managed to pair up against each other.
There you go. All right, that one's pretty straightforward, so we won't spend too much time on it, folks, but definitely see your answers coming in. We will click on them as we go, but a lot of title matches on Stand and Deliver, pretty much all of them except one. So up next, the North American Championship. It will be on the line as Oba Femi defends against Briggs and Dijak.
Now, on a side note, how do we feel that there's only so far allegedly currently 5 matches added for this show? There's not 7, there's not 17. Shout out Tony Khan. Anything like that we're only 5 matches in. So I feel like a lot of these matches are going to get some time here.
Yeah. With Triple H and Shawn Michaels, it's just kind of a trend with like 5 or 6 matches. I think we've seen a couple of pay-per-views or premium live events with like 4. So yeah, give these folks some time and let them cook.
Yeah, I keep saying it, quality over quantity. We know some other bookers like to give us quantity over quality. There's no reason to have matches that could be saved for SmackDown, Raw, NXT, your usual weekly show, and then just shove him in there to be like, well, see how many matches we had on our big card. I'd rather 7, 5, 6, whatever the number ends up being, solid matches that have a good amount of time to breathe.
Fair enough. Well, and I'll say this as the Dijakinita fan and everything. Is anyone not taking Oba Femi?
Anthony?
I don't think I'm taking him. I think I'm taking Dijak. I don't know.
You're going to go against me. You want to take the Dijakinator.
I've seen like what he's been doing a little bit, and I'm actually kind of liking it. So I'm taking Dijak to become the new champ.
You ain't liking Oba Femi?
I mean, he's great.
One man out there wrestling children.
He's great and all, but I really think Dijak might take it.
Ooh. I find it so hard right now to bet against Oba. And I mean, Briggs is on the come up. He's done good things since separating from Bar Rescue. Dijak's a guy that almost deserves the win because he's been such a good hand, constantly in great wrestling matches. But Oba Femi is just on a different level.
The only way I see him losing this match is he's already done with NXT. He's already moving on up. Just literally. Well, think about it. He's on that Trick Williams, I would say, level of like deserves a fast track, has established it. I think as long as you really treat it with kid gloves a little bit and just don't over fuck it up, you can continue to grow that a la Tiffany Stratton, that instant jump from NXT to the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, if he's on the fast track, it's possible. Man, I mean, it's not even something I considered yet. I was like,
well, that would be the only way he loses. That's the only way.
Only way. They have to double stack them and then figure out who was on top.
I'm looking at the chat, and there's a few that agree with me with Dijak. So
yeah, you're not alone.
Here. I'm not alone.
You know what I think? Dijak should win. One of the interesting comments, I clicked on it, but a lot of people talking about potentially adding a women's, like a 6 women's match from NXT. This one here involving the former. But we'll see. We'll see. No announcement on that
Nick
yet.
rolled his eyes. He's definitely.
Well, no. I feel like I can already name the competitors in this match. It's going to be JC Jane.
Yep.
Kiana James, Izzy Dame taking on Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and
the new squirrel.
Who was the last one that was just out there with her?
You said you could name it.
Don't you fucker. Kalani Jordan.
Yeah.
Screw you. I could name it.
I got there. Yeah, very possible. We'll see. That could be an NXT match as well, but they could add it. I mean, everything's pretty much geared towards the championships. So, will they slide in like a little palate cleanser in there? We'll find out.
Even then, that fits. I mean, we've only seen 5 matches out of there where I would expect maybe 1 to 2 more, one maybe a pre-show match or anything like that. So, yeah.
Dijak deserves the title in NXT, but I don't see it right now. Poor Dijak. He's such a good worker. Just move him up. Fuck it.
He's just the biggest victim of circumstance. Like, he was there and could have been North American champion, but Keith Lee was a thing. And then he got caught up into Retribution and then was T-Bar. And then now he's there and Oma Femi's a thing. Like, there is constantly a fucking roadblock to this man moving anywhere but forward.
Right. Well, it was T-Bar and Mace or something like that. Yeah.
Actually, shit. Can we remember the names of Retribution? There's Mace, T-Bar, Slapjack. Reckoning was Mia Yim.
Yeah, but what was Nightmare? What was
there wasn't what? No, I think that whole story was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was. Well, she was only there for a second. But Martinez, what was her?
Yeah.
And then there was Ali.
Well, yeah, no, you had Mercedes Martinez. Yeah, you had Ali. Well, no, and Reckoning was Mia Yim.
Yeah, no, it didn't work. What a shit show that ended up being.
Yeah, that didn't last long, and it was completely terrible.
Right. Well, with all that being said, being that there's not much to debate with these ones, up next, this one should be interesting. Roxanne Perez taking on Lyra Valkyria, the Bird Lady.
Caca. Roxanne Perez wins this one.
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay. She never lost. Caca. She's going to pluck that woman like a chicken that's going to get deep fried.
I'm actually surprised that you went with Roxanne. This will be we'll go across the board with Roxanne on this one. Roxy, definitely the new attitude, the heel vibe, everything she's doing. I would partly expected Nick to say, well, she's going to lose because she's going up, but
I mean, I can make that argument if you want. I'll take that defense, but yeah, no, I think Caca just gets plucked.
Well, speaking of plucking, I mean, Roxy's been on fire. I like her. I like what she's doing. I'm going Roxy all the way on this one. I think this whole new attitude's working really well for her.
And she's getting a lot of praise for it, even though, too, of like, everybody's like, this is a whole brand new Roxanne Perez. I'm like, I guess you and I, who have been watching NXT every week, like, we've kind of seen this very much leading up to it. We've seen the build. This isn't a surprise or anything.
So it was like a progression to where she is now.
Oh, absolutely. She went from the plucky baby face to she's out there. When I see you, it's on site.
Nick's just plucking everything.
Yeah. Just call me the Colonel.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, like you said, uber babyface, very like peachy key, smiley, and then just gradually started punching everybody. Everybody. It didn't matter who it was. He was just who's Roxanne gonna punch this week? So I think this match could surprise us at how good this match will be.
Oh, I think it'll be a fantastic Christ. Like you were saying, though, we had comments in the chat of like, who's Roxanne going to punch in the face this week? It was literally, she was, the fucking Ty Domi of NXT out there. Which is literally, when I see it's on site, I'm about that action.
What it sounds like is like she's like the lady from that movie Kill Bill, just going around just slicing and dicing whoever she sees. That's what it's given from the way y'all talking.
Oh, she was literally in backstage segments and somebody would say something and then all of a sudden she just comes in like a fucking wrecking ball and just throwing hands.
Yeah, just scrappy dude, just ready to go.
Yeah. Put him up.
I'm gonna wait till Tuesday night to make my picks. All right, Brandon. Well, let us know. I got Roxanne winning. Most people seem to. Cody Rhodes will finish his story. I don't think that's on topic.
Spoiler alert. No,
we'll get there.
Trust me. We got lots to argue, and we're gonna get through these ones quick because I think some of the main card ones are gonna make us fight. Vance, Roxanne for the win. I think the majority of people are leaning towards Roxanne. I think one person took Bird Lady. So,
but it's the title she never lost. It's respectfully, it's the title that it's much like Thunder Rosa on AEW. It's the title Roxanne never technically lost. So,
yeah, fact. All right, the World Championship, the NXT title will be on the line. The surprising contender, I would say, Tony D taking on Ilya.
I don't see Ilya losing.
I mean, I kind of have to go with the Paisan. I feel like I was pegged into a corner with this one a little bit. But even then, still, I think we've talked about this enough at least. Even when it was Ilya versus Carmelo, does Ilya move up to the main roster? Christ, you give me Ilya versus Gunther at any point. For anything, for any reason, they could be fighting over a fucking croissant for all I give a shit. And I'm all the way to watch that match. So Tony D, as much as I don't right now feel like he's built at that level to be the NXT World Champion, I think it's season premiere, new season starts over here. There's going to be a lot of cleaning of house, I feel, of old NXT to an extent.
A little bit of shuffle, a little bit of Yahtzee going on.
Sounds like it's a weekend of just cleaning house. That's what it sounds like.
I feel like I've been doing. But Lyra with the win for that. But that's my one question with this one is Tony D ready to be the face of an entire brand? Has he done enough to be the guy?
That, I mean, as the backer of the Paisan, I mean, it's very questionable. It's very questionable.
And for me, that like watch highlights of NXT, I've never heard of Tony D. So, so this is like, if I haven't heard of him, I'm like,
the disrespect.
Maybe he's not ready to run a whole brand.
You're missing all these vignettes from Olive Garden. You're missing all these.
Right, you're missing the one set all the time. Do you even know about Lady Rizzo or anything like that? Do you even know about Crucifixo? That was the attorney turned, part of the family and everything. You're missing this whole story. I'm missing. Like, I only watch highlights of The Sopranos, and I don't know who Tony is.
Right. Well, Julian has a really good thought here, though. Tony is turning heel. What she kind of was a heel, but then people really kind of started liking his gimmick here. So does he just dig in and become a full out heel boss type?
But what would make him, is it him being a heel and he kicks out Ilya type of thing? Does that just make him more of like, it adds a layer to his character versus he's a true heel? Because like if he turns heel here, I assume that the guy that he's turning heel on is not in NXT anymore. So where's go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking if he cheats, uses the family to get the title and Ilya is moving on, and then he moves forward as like the boss of the show with a faction behind him that he kind of runs things for whoever the next. If Trick Williams is coming up next, Trick versus heel Tony.
I'm okay with it though, because it adds a bit of layer that's been lacking. Like you said, the best way to describe Tony D'Angelo right now is Olive Garden. He's not fully, out there with the Pisons having a good, gabagool or anything. He's very much Olive Garden. So if he adds that heel turn layer, and especially he's got to be a heel, anyone that's going against Trick is going to be the heel, point blank, period. So might as well set it up now. So that's not a bad show.
That's an interesting point, because if it is Trick who's on tap for next, and we'll talk about his match as the main event. It's been announced as the main event as well.
Right.
But that would be very intriguing, because Ilya Trick, now they've gone before, and there's nothing wrong with a babyface matchup when done right, but Trick chasing Tony might work better than Trick going against Ilya again.
You get length to it, I feel. You can extend that out. So maybe Carmelo is on, again, this is all spoiler alerts, maybe Carmelo is on the main roster and he can, run away from that for a little bit.
Fair enough. Richard saying that he was in a tag team for a long time, so he needs a bit more singles time before giving him the belt. Yeah, like I said, I was surprised they became the contender.
Yeah, but I mean, it did fit with setting up Carmelo versus Trick, which
very much so.
That should be the last match that we have to talk about.
There you go. And Almighty Black Adam says, I think the Dawn is ready. That's it. I mean, sometimes you got to become the Dawn out of it just happens. Whether you're ready or not, you're in that role, right?
Kind of thrown into that position. Yeah.
Sometimes the Dawn chooses you, and sometimes you choose the Dawn.
I knew it was you all along, Fredo.
Right.
But the main event of Stand and Deliver, not a title match, which is crazy, because for all the title matches we have, this is the biggest match we're all waiting for.
Yeah, but I think you nailed it right there on the head. Sorry to cut you off there, Anthony, if you want to say anything. But with the whole, I knew it was you, Fredo, all along. That's what this whole fucking story is literally, this is brother betraying brother here. This was, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. They were bonded together, and now you had that double cross, crisscross applesauce shit.
Yeah, whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. That's what's happening. That is what's happening at Stand and Deliver. Easily Trick Williams taking this. I think if we're talking about people being called up, it's definitely going to be Carmelo Hayes. So Trick has this in the bag.
Yeah, I think this is Trick's. I think Carmelo's gone, as good as gone. This is his farewell. He'll put his friend over and move on. I mean, I think it's going to be an outstanding match. Two guys that know each other extremely well. But I do think it's Trick's time. And if Trick isn't on his way up with him, he is the next guy in line for an NXT title very soon. So, I mean, whatever happens with Ilya and Tony, Trick could be barking up that tree real quick. So they better be prepared.
Oh, absolutely. I think, Carmelo's already pretty much been called up on SmackDown. So this is all forgotten conclusion here of Trick wins this. Now, do we, yes or no, if we get a Lash Legend smooch midway through this match at some point here? That's the betting odds. That's, I guess, the best betting odds here.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Metaphor has been pretty quiet going into Stand and Deliver, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with KJ. I'm not sure here.
Maybe post match, like a Lash, we did it, and she comes running out. maybe, but most people seem to be thinking that Trick is the favorite to win this one. Trick for the win. Trick.
It's Trigger 2, Rocco, Rom 2, Rocco, Rom. That's right on time. It's Trigger.
So not much debate there. So
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, just to remind everybody who's watching us right now, we will be live at 11:30 a.m. next Saturday to kick off it's kind of the kickoff to the Mania weekend. It technically starts on like Thursday, but we'll get into all those details. But we have bonus shows all week long. We will be here tomorrow for Raw and then all the way through. But we go live at 11:30, stand and deliver. We will have that. And then we're just going to stick around and give you guys a chance to win prizes. We're going to do a little sing along with the Chapeau. We're going to do a little bit of guess the wrestler with the crew. But we're going to have a good time next weekend. And be there for that. But that is stand and deliver. It looks like it's going to be a good show, guys.
Yeah, it looks like it's definitely going to be solid. I don't really watch NXT on a regular, but I'm definitely going to tune in to stand and deliver to see what type of matches are going to go down, because anytime like there's a NXT premium live event, I do try to watch and they always deliver. So it reminds me a little bit about TNA. Like every time they have a pay-per-view, TNA is delivering. So it's like that with NXT as well.
I would debate this, and it's been a whole year since I watched
No.
Well, no, I'm just saying of that to where stand and deliver this year is going to be better than it was last year. And like that's what I was saying. It's been a whole year since I watched last year, but I would say that stacked and action packed. But
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this one for sure. The matches all have a lot of potential. We're not even sure. Like I know there's rumors that they might add 1 or 2 more matches. I think they're not going to add too much more than this, but what they do have, solid title matches. Everything's important. Everything has a build to it. And I think there's a lot of potential there. I think Bird Lady and Lyra could really show up and show out. That triple threat match might be insane with Oba, Dijak, and Briggs. That might surprise a lot of people.
Oh, that's going to be big, beefy boys slapping meat. That's going to be people going through barricades, just all of things getting broken.
Yes, they announced it, Nick. What did they announce, Dro?
What?
I don't know. Context is king.
Oh, have they? No, he was asking about if they've announced the Andre Battle Royal.
Yes, Friday.
They have.
Yes. And Andrade could win the Andre.
Definition of irony.
Right. Bacon Club for life. Yeah. Brunch with the boys. Early morning rise, whatever you want to call it. But it's going to be a good one. All right, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to dive into the show of all shows, the show of the Immortals, WrestleMania XL from Philadelphia, and we're going to kick our predictions off with a match that was just added: Lowo versus Lowo.
Can we get a Dominic Mysterio win at WrestleMania? That's what I want to see. He lost last year, which I actually thought his father was going to put him over last year, but he didn't. So can we get a Dominic Mysterio win at WrestleMania this year? That is what I want to see.
I agree, and I think we're going to have a Carlito heel turn that helps create that.
Carlito needs a heel turn. I like that, my guy. He's been inept.
This fucking storyline has been inept, asleep, any sort of failure type of acronym you want to attach to this. But yeah,
it seems like this story to me like took a break and then started back up again. It's like it had a season finale and now we're at the season premiere. I don't know. It's kind of been
up and started it off in neutral and never fucking realized you weren't in drive the whole time.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, no, I mean, the storyline's been odd, and then like Ray getting hurt, I think, kind of hindered it. And now we'll see. I think Santos and Dom deserve this W. Dragon Lee, great up and comer. We'll see how that works out. Ray's in his twilight. If you want any clout with Legado, let Santos and Dom get this win.
Please let them have this win. Like I want them to have this win.
This just needs to dead this whole storyline. Like that's the thing, is you said of like, well, Ray getting hurt, they didn't help anything. Yeah, but that's the thing, is you need a fucking course correct or anything. Like Dragon Lee was supposed to be the new Ronald Mysterious that was just randomly getting out of in here. Like this was all just a lot of kind of clusterfuck of like, maybe let's just try and finish this here.
Well, to support your theory of a potential Carlito heel turn, I do think it was funny that you had all these wrestlers in the ring on Friday, and he's like, "I got some other guy," and they were like, "Wait, who?"
Yeah,
like,
that was
that guy
weird. That was definitely weird. I'm like, why not pick some of the guys that's next to you? But you pick what is Dragon Lee, right? You pick Dragon Lee. Like I don't know. That was a little weird.
The Spider-Man meme. They just point at each other. I am you. You are me. Yeah, no, I was waiting for Carlito to just go, who the f is that guy?
And Carlito has come in. He hasn't really, like, he was in one match, I think. He hasn't done a lot.
I still want Masters of the Universe as a fucking tag team. I want Chris Masters to have one last run and just throw him in there with Carlito.
There you go. Future table spot in that match, Oba 3-way. All right. I got Ray Dragon Lee winning. Ray and Dragon Lee. Wow. Okay. Dom and Santos winning. Yes. This one actually splitting the crowd a little bit. Dirty Dom.
Does this need a stipulation, like you said, KJ, of like hair versus mask or whatever?
I want it.
If this was a singles match, I could see that a bit more than like Dragon Lee's not giving up that mask.
No, I think that's how Dom retires his dad, but I don't know when.
I feel like this should have been when.
No, Ray's got something. I mean, he might retire at like Survivor Series or some shit.
Well, why not now? Why not now?
Well, because the Young Bucks aren't available for a retirement match.
Oh.
We'll get Matthew and Nicholas on the phone here.
Carlito, instant heat. Carlito's better as a heel anyway, to be honest.
He has a gimmick to where he spits in people's faces. How is that babyface?
True.
That's disgusting. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. How is that a babyface gimmick?
Right. Facts. So, I mean, again, he hasn't done much. This would be his chance to kind of do something a little bit more.
Yeah.
Spit in the face of people
I didn't even think like heel turn for Carlito, but that makes it makes a little bit of sense. Like he's been out the picture. He definitely wasn't Ray's first choice last Friday on SmackDown. So maybe a heel turn is coming.
Well, and especially he was the guy that, I know who did this. It was Santos Escobar. He was the one that led the fucking charge.
Right.
To take out Escobar. So it would have only made sense. So now, well, Q Ray, you won't acknowledge me. So I'm going to spit an apple in your face.
Right? I got to put a mask on to get on your team. What's going on, bro?
Right. Go, Lucha Rangers.
I don't see Carlito turning yet, but if not now, when?
2 weeks after the fact or something? Or
maybe.
The next night after?
Right. Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio for the win. Loses again at WrestleMania. I think there was something missing in that sentence, Damien, but I'll take your word for it. Rey Mysterio is great, but I see why people keep turning on him. Well, again, he's the uber babyface, so it's an easy out.
He's the Sting of WWE, of everyone just turns on him.
Right? Dom and Nick for the win. There you go, big guy.
What about Tom? No Tom?
Tom?
Right. Where's Tom at? We can't leave him out.
All right.
WrestleMania 2024 has many filler matches. Let's touch on that real quick before the next match.
Does it?
I mean, people are clamoring for more matches. What are the filler?
I don't
other than the one on the screen.
Yeah, if you want to call anything a filler, it's definitely this. I don't call any of the other matches filler matches. I think a lot of them have solid stories behind them. I wouldn't dare call the new 6 women's tag team match a filler match. So yeah, if you want to call anything a filler match, it's the one that we have on the screen right now.
Well, and you and I have talked about this, KG, or literally on stream on SmackDown and everything. This is probably the like the WrestleMania card going into it, that everything is up for debate. Everything is up for discussion. There is no predictable winners pretty much across the board here versus other WrestleManias here. So, yeah, y'all just hating just to hate, I feel a little bit with that.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too Philly. Like, I mean, we could call this one a bit of a filler match, but they've been building this for months. So as much as we might not love how they built it, to me, there's a story behind it at least. And yeah, I mean, the women's match that just got added over the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
You can call that a filler, maybe, but I'm more than happy to see all 6 of those women get involved in something.
Yeah, agreed.
That match 100%, it shuts everybody that was wondering what's going on with Jade Cargill with that last match that we had up there. I mean, if you took out Escobar and Dragon Lee, it's literally the match we had last year. So what's everybody fucking complaining about here? So it's really you're just trying to throw stones just to throw stones because there really isn't much to complain here.
Yeah, not really. I don't feel, I mean, again, to each their own, but I don't necessarily, think that's accurate at this point. So, but with that being said, being that we've already opened the door, there was a match announced as the new and improved Team Bad, technically, taking on Damage Control. Very interesting. But as you see, the 6 women on the screen will go 3-on-3 at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I am excited for this one. I think this is a good match for Damage Control. I think to put Jade Cargill's first match on WrestleMania, she's improved greatly. They've seen her improve greatly behind the scenes from her AEW run. So to have her first match at WrestleMania, I think that's just excellent. Teaming with 2 of the best women today with Bianca Belair and Naomi, I think it's just a perfect combination. I know a lot of people, and you just said it like a Team Bad 2.0. I don't even see it that way. I'm not even gonna lie, I wasn't a big fan of Team Bad. So this is just kind of their own new thing, and I want them to run with it as best as possible. And I think just the start is going to be at WrestleMania.
Not to fully second Anthony's opinion there, but yeah. well, this is just the best representation, the best presentation that you can do with Jade Cargill, that you can do with Naomi, that even with Bianca Belair. Like, this is just a murderer's row of a trios women's tag team right there. And that screams new faction written all over it. And especially to have them go against established Asuka, Dakota, Io, or not Dakota, Kyrie. There we go. Jesus, H tap dancer Christ. But you have established group versus newfound group, and this is really like, we even just watched the whole segment on SmackDown, and respectfully, Jade had no right just folding them women up like fucking napkins and everything. Like, it's just literally folding them up like recliner chairs and everything. Like, that's just, this is, if you're going to, everybody that's wondered, what are they going to do with Jade? Why aren't they using her and everything? This is exactly how the fuck you use her.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was going to agree with you both. And so I got 2 mindsets, and I do like this about a lot of these matches. And someone said it here that there's a potential Naomi turning heel, but there's been a lot of talk about Bianca turning heel. Bianca hasn't been happy. She's been arguing with Naomi about the whole Bayley situation. She did it to herself. I don't give a shit. That's her problem. Now, I just don't know if Jade goes on the losing end in her debut match. And I think this is an opportunity for her to be, you don't overexpose her because she's in there with 5 other women. I think she gets to be the superstar of this moment.
No, yeah, I agree. I didn't have Bianca turning heel on my bingo card. I mean, I see it, but like happening now, I don't think it's the right time.
It could have happened later in the same night.
How?
Well, there's another match. Then you mentioned Bayley. There's another match.
Get involved.
That would be happening on that same weekend. That could be where you get the heel turn and everything. I don't think you don't see any heel turn. Like I said, this is a united front. There's been a lot of people that have respectfully said that this is the new women's shield right now of Bianca, Naomi, and Jade here. Yeah. So I think you ride that. Now, does Bianca have that little Seth Rollins' little twitch there or whatever. They kind of turn heel later on in the evening. That remains to be seen. It shows no alliance to either group, but yeah, it could be just literally. I'm kind of just sick of the fucking standard here.
Yeah, and I mean the idea Christopher pitches is that they could get the win and then the turn happens. I like the idea, and you just touched on it slightly, is that you ride this. They can be dominant, they can run the division, they all could be champions, and yeah, then eventually, maybe not now, but in time, that jealousy starts creeping in. You know, Jade's the star, Jade's in the spotlight, you know, and the EST is like, hold up, wait a minute,
right?
That was my job.
Yeah, I want them to ride this. They need to ride this out for, you know, a couple of months, 6 months maybe at the most. I really think them pairing Jade Cargill with Bianca Belair and Naomi, two established women in the roster. I think it's more of in the behind the scenes sense, like a training like type of opportunity for Jade Cargill, but the focus on this group will be Jade Cargill for the months going down the line. And just like KJ said, then you have that amazing turn from Bianca Belair, which could potentially lead to a singles match between both of those women at WrestleMania 41. I don't know.
Could happen. I mean, that be arguably could be comparable to Roman Seth. But how do we feel that this is a 6-woman tag match instead of you split it up and you have, say, Bianca versus Dakota, and then you have the Kabuki Warriors versus Naomi and Jade, and you have the tag titles on the line?
Yeah, I mean, again, now you're just stretching it out, right? Like,
yeah.
You mean what?
I was literally I was just presenting the case. Yeah,
you didn't represent. You didn't say shit.
I don't have a problem with the tag team titles not being defended at WrestleMania. You know, this could be something where, you know, down the line the tag team titles are defended. It doesn't matter which combination of women on Naomi, Bianca, and Jade's team win it, and then maybe we get that Bianca. Now I'm thinking about it and going down the line, maybe we get Bianca and Rhea at SummerSlam, and then we have this powerful faction with both the tag team titles held by 2 members, and then Bianca holding the Women's World Championship. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud, but that's an idea.
There you go. A couple people have suggested that Jade could be the one that turns. That, you know, Jade.
I'm already sold on Anthony. He was way more passionate.
But yeah, I mean, I think that you have. Yeah, I mean, I think the same people that are belly aching about, oh, you could split it up, would be the same people that when Dakota came out to fight Jade or Belair or whatever combination you wanted to do, they'd be like, oh, piss break. Like, I think it's a double-edged sword, right? So
yeah,
you're going to highlight 6 of these women, and we know why you're insulating Jade, because they're smart.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you go ahead, Nick.
No, go ahead, Anthony.
No, I was just going to really agree with what KJ had to say. So yeah, you go ahead.
No, I was agreeing as well. It's one of those of everybody's been wondering and clamoring of what are they going to do with Jade, and well, now you found the best way that you can still promote her as a star. She sat there and started off SmackDown. You're fine. And then ended it with just even a more better outfit, if I can say that. But literally, she bookended all of SmackDown and established herself as a prominent star, and she's out there now with literally stars in that whole women's division. Like, there's nobody out there that's like you would say is a weak link in there.
They're all champions or soon to be champions, or soon to be additional champions. Like, they're all championship material. They're all, you know, potential future Hall of Famers. Like, it's unbelievable.
And the way she was just presented, you know, in that main event segment on SmackDown was insane. I think you touched on it a little earlier, Nick, that she folded all 3 of them women. The kick that she gave Asuka was scary good, because like it was intense. The kick that she gave Asuka.
Dude, I don't want that visual in my head later.
Yeah, you have that. That is what I'm at.
here's a question before we move on to the next match. What was more impactful and more big business? Sasha Banks in Boston or Jade last night or on Friday?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Lord. I know this has been a debate on social
I
media.
love this.
I've heard this of they're the same, but not the same. Like, if you think that's the same, please get a vision test. Please go and seek medical attention. Make sure your glasses are in full, spectrum, all of that. Because just my dog, nah.
I don't really want to compare, but I think the most impactful would have to be Jade just a little bit, because I felt like we've been teased with Jade a lot over the past 5 months since he signed. So I really think it might have been Jade Cargill, to be honest. So
yeah, I mean, like, imagine Sasha Banks came out on a big business, signed her contract, said, I'm happy to be here, said a few words, not a long, big promo that kind of put people to sleep and prove that you're not a great promo. And then by the end of the show, like, the whole show was felt like Jade's Friday, and big business didn't feel like Monet's show. And if Monet had run out there and kind of laid out a few people like Jade did, it might have had more of that feel. But Jade definitely, to me, let her presence be known and said a lot less words.
But can I just say this, and especially seeing how literally both performers have just traded places, that this is purely on execution here, that this is literally on how you present your performers, on how you present your talent, on how you produce your show. Because there's literally, you can't argue, well, it's Jade versus Sasha, Mercedes, what have you. They were literally, if you swap them on the opposite shows, I think you would have had the same results of just they were presented in that light and they were presented that way. So it's not even fully on a performer thing. It's on how you present the performer.
And Keyshawn completely agrees with you that he puts it on the people who were putting on the presentation.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to a heated rivalry that has, gone across borders and hemispheres, but we are
going to get as old as time, flat as earth as time. The AJ and the
the battle for the third time, the battle of the initials. LA Knight taking on AJ Styles. Who do we got?
Ooh, I don't know. I really want to go with AJ Styles, but I feel like if LA Knight loses at WrestleMania, there might be some type of riot with the LA Knight fandom. I think both are hot right now. AJ Styles with this new kind of character and gimmick. He has teased the new music at WrestleMania as well, because the music that he has now, it doesn't suit his character. So I don't know. I honestly want to choose AJ Styles, but this one is kind of a toss-up for me.
Yes or no that his new theme is either the Lone Wolf from TNA or some shitty Def Rebel fucking song that doesn't mean anything.
I mean, we recently heard Joe Hendry hijack the Lone Wolf theme for a little bit there, right?
He did.
I don't know, man. I hope they go with something original.
Surprise through this world all
right?
Alone.
I mean, if it's original, at least let it be good. I know the Def Rebel is struggling a little bit with some of these themes. So if it's going to be original, let it be good. But if you can't come up with anything good, let's go back to that old TNA theme. I'll take it.
That would work. A lot of people picking LA Knight.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking with this. Yeah. LA Knight needs this win, has to have this win. I mean, AJ Styles, I think he's even knowing he's in the back nine here. So let me capitalize on what I got here. Let me reinvent my character. Let me reestablish my character.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against LA Knight on this one. It really is. Could AJ win this and there's some type of story there that this is not done? Yes. Yeah. But
the man showed up at his house. But the man had to get arrested by police.
Right?
I really feel like if LA Knight loses, it's gonna be a whole riot. So yeah, even though it's a toss-up for me, if LA Knight loses, it's not gonna be good. The IWC is going to lose their mind. So
and Slim Jim might not be happy.
right.
Oh yeah, snap into a pinfall.
Right. Would AJ get his TNA theme? So yeah, there you go. Ready to Fly. Yeah, that's the one we recently were laughing about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going to be with LA Knight. Now, this could be a really good match. It should be a really good match. Two vets. Yeah, I mean, TNA alum represent.
Yeah, this TNA on TNA action. Mom, yeah, Ying Bird, yeah.
Def Rebel is ass. They've been struggling. I'll give you that. So not a whole lot of debate with this one. A lot of people thinking, I don't see one bet for AJ Styles.
But that's the thing, though, is literally, as we've said, this card seems unpredictable. Like, we could all feel one way. But we're not going to be fully caught off guard, I feel, if AJ Styles won this match.
Yeah, because the WWE has proven in the past that, they don't give a shit how mad Twitter gets. If they have a plan, if the plan is AJ wins over LA, but they're going to keep feuding for another little while, and they're going to get a match at Backlash or a match at SummerSlam, again, people can piss and moan all they want. At the end of the day, I think LA is going to win. Well, we could be wrong.
We could definitely be wrong, and it could be AJ Styles. Yeah. And they can push this feud to SummerSlam. Yeah.
WWE's whole philosophy is you can have that. That ain't what I'm at.
It's more like we can't hear you. AJ needs this win so bad, says Pal. That is an interesting caveat to this. Now, like you said, he's in his back nine, but we just got, Jack Styles back from injury. I mean, a loss could kind of, hinder his momentum.
Is there anything that you feel that AJ Styles still needs to accomplish that doesn't solidify him as a Hall of Famer, as one of the legends of all time?
No, I think he'd be okay.
That's to me the question of, like, I get we want to push him because he is so great and everything, but it's like, on one hand, where do you shoehorn him? Like, it's one of those. He's got such a unblemished resume. Why shoehorn him for shit?
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. And then Pal just followed up real quick of naming an iconic AJ Styles WrestleMania match that he didn't take 6 hours to film. AJ needs this for his legacy. No different than Foley needed that no DQ match with Edge. That's a valid argument.
You think ready to argue? Career wasn't valid until that match with Edge?
Well, no. What he's saying is he needed it, though. He needed that.
He didn't need that.
Of course he did. It helped.
No, he didn't. You're telling me Hell in a Cell, Mick Foley needed the fucking match with.
I didn't even know what he was arguing about. But does AJ need it, though? I mean, AJ. Someone asked, "Does AJ won at WrestleMania?"
I was just about to mention that. Keyshawn asked that, has AJ won at Mania, and I don't think he has.
No, he had his match with
34, 35, and 37. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, he did. He did beat Nakamura.
Shit. Oh, he beat Shin. That's right.
Yeah, I forgot. He beat Nakamura.
He lost to Taker.
Yeah, he lost to Taker. So never mind.
Everyone remembers the Boneyard match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that one. So we're all taking LA Knight on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's move on to a little more brotherly love. I did not realize that this has become a street fight, a Philly street fight between the brothers.
Oh, really?
And now I could be wrong on that. I'm going to double check, but I believe it is a street fight, which would make it very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. Well, I still have it as a singles match, but
is it still a singles?
I think my prediction for this is clear. I think Solo gets involved in everything. You have that, obviously, angle and everything. I think Jey Uso wins this match.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Did he swerve you too? Like Solo gets
Swerve.
involved. He wins. I was like,
I
wait, what?
swerve when I pick. I swerve when I pick.
Wait, I was waiting for Nick to come out with this whole prolonged thing, but it wasn't.
We all were.
Ah.
Yeet. Yeet for the win. Are we going yeet or no yeet? I think Jey needs this. Jimmy will be fine. Jimmy's good, but Jey, if you're gonna push Jey into main event Jey status, he's got to win some matches.
Right. So this is all definitely Jey. It has never crossed my mind with this entire feud that Jimmy is going to win at WrestleMania.
Does Keish get involved?
Not once.
I did it for The Rock. I did it for the Uso.
It would be nice to see Rikishi get involved.
I've been begging for Keish for months.
This man just wants some Keish. Someone make this man some Keish.
Right.
But what about Solo? Solo's the forgotten brother. Does he get involved?
Solo has to get involved.
But does he get involved and cause Jey the match?
He could. That's what I thought you were going with. And then you were like,
well, what if this is like maybe an extension? And I know we're going to get to Roman and Cody, but maybe this is an extension to where Jimmy actually wins. We extend the whole bloodline story. I know we haven't got to Cody and Roman, so I'm going to leave that thought for there, but this all goes to SummerSlam and we get a rematch with Jimmy and Jey.
I like that, but I also have the feeling of Solo gets involved and accidentally costs Jimmy, and this whole WrestleMania, The Rock, Roman, everything that's been going down and transpiring, could it be a case of they legitimately this is the beginning of their demise, the end, right? Like, so now Solo and Jimmy are mad at each other, The Rock and Roman are mad at each other, they lose a whole bunch of shit, including a belt. I don't know, man. This is where this one's tough.
I believe you. I actually kind of halfway believe both of you, but I feel like this could be we're setting up this expectation of disbelief of we set the standard of, well, all the good guys win, right? And then when they don't, you can have that. Not even what I'm mad at.
So the bloodline just runs Ripshaw over all of it. Fuck it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a lot that can go down with all the bloodline matches happening at WrestleMania. And I feel like if this one, they haven't announced which matches are going on which night. No. I have a feeling if this one happens on night one, and then we have the tag team match, which it is going to be on night one. That's the only one that has been presented as a night one match. I think if this one goes first and then we have that tag team match, I think we'll kind of maybe potentially know the outcome of the Roman match the next night. I don't know.
Solo comes out to help Jimmy, and Rikishi cuts off Solo and says, no, boy. Hold on. Let him fight.
Right.
Jey needs this Mania moment. I agree. I think it's Jey.
Yeah.
It's hard to go against Jey, I think. But Jimmy could surprise us. That's what I like about even the last couple matches we talked about, where we're like, we have a favorite, but
if the favorite doesn't win, you're not like mad at it. Like, that's the thing, is there's a viable case either way. There's a predictable outcome per se, but there's nothing that if it doesn't go that way that you're like, I can't believe that.
And apparently I was wrong about the street fight, the stipulation. I don't know what the hell I read today, but maybe I'm anticipating something that hasn't been announced yet.
You'll fight. Oh, well, they'll announce it on Friday or something like that. You're just getting ahead of the curve here.
Unlike Meltzer, I will recant my sources. Jimmy is the one who needs the rub. Now, this is a good point, though. Jay's got a lot of love from the WWE booking. Jimmy really hasn't.
But does Jey get anchored down because Jimmy hasn't? Like, it's one of those, like, respectfully, like, they've kind of been given almost the same opportunity a little bit. Like, does one get anchored down? Like, do you want to throw that onto Jey? Well, Jimmy's not as popular as you are. Well, that's Jimmy's problem, not mine.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jey Uso.
It really could be a lot. And I feel like if this match happens on night one, like this is going to set the tone for the rest of the Bloodline story for the entire weekend.
Does this open night one?
Open night one. Ooh. I feel like the Luchas are going to open night one.
I feel like it's always been that philosophy. If you're not first, you're last. Like I'm assuming night two starts off with Seth versus Drew. If you're not first, you're last. So if you're not going to go on last, you go on first.
I wonder if Seth. I thought Seth and Drew might be the second last match, like a co-main event kind of idea.
Yeah, so
I thought they mentioned co-main event.
Yeah, that's.
I thought they mentioned a co-main event type thing happening at WrestleMania night 2.
Maybe now they've done like co-main events before, and they just kind of randomly put them wherever they want. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they might do it. I'd be a little hesitant to open night 2 with Seth and Drew, especially if it ties into all this other shit that's going on in Punk, and you're gonna want people to stick around to see Punk. I don't know.
Fair, valid. But it's one of those of that's again the placement on it. Do you put it towards the main event? Like, do you want Seth and Drew to be followed by Cody and Roman?
Yeah. That's a co-main event. Why would you not? What would be the issue there?
You don't burn out your audience?
No, you have them excited for 2 big main events. The UFC does it all the time. End of argument. All right.
Well, no, I was waiting for other people to.
Oh, I didn't have anything.
Yeah, sorry, I was polite.
I didn't have anything because I actually like the co-main event idea.
Yeah. Fair enough. But this is a tight one to call. It really is. Boston, you missed Stand and Deliver. Yeah. Where were you, tardy boy? That sounded terrible. What's up, Boston?
Distant cousin of the Hardy Boys. That tardy boy.
Yeah, right. Naomi's not going to get involved in that, I don't think. That'd be shocking. They've opened Mania with title matches before. Maybe the IC title opens night 1. Very possible. Absolutely. And that's what we got to remember. There's a lot of shit going on, right?
Yeah.
So
I've heard even Becky wants to open one of the nights. I think she said if she's not main eventing, she will want to open one of the nights. So it could
again, like I said, if you're not first, if you're not last,
yeah, but that's a very like modern indie fucking vibe feel because people went on second, third, fourth for years that were solid matches that did well. That's just a newer thing in the last little bit here where people are like, well, if I'm not main eventing, I might as well get on first so I can get a shot.
To me, it's one of those. I will argue with it with this of that. It's to me, it's you have the fresh audience, you have a crowd that hasn't seen anything, so you have an untapped audience. So anything that I put on is going to get the biggest reactions versus they potentially get burnt out by this, that, and the third that goes on throughout the card.
You're not going to burn out this crowd, man. They're going to be. It's a Philly like. The crowd, when you give them a good show, they don't burn out. Like,
right, that's great. That's you say that's for this WrestleMania card, but I'm saying this company does this for anything and everything for every show that they do. Like, you can say that plays out for WrestleMania, but when they're in fucking Montreal, when they're in this show, when they're at show and everything, to where I'd rather start you off hot and then we'll fill in the middle in between, and then we end it on a great cliff note.
And that's why the part of me thought maybe the Luchas or like something like Gunther might be a nice start to the whole show.
But I do also like the vibe of like, and how I'm going to describe it is like stacking. So it's like you have the opener, but every match is competing to be better than the last match.
Yeah.
And I think with this WrestleMania, there's a lot of matches that could steal the show. I mean, you could have, on both nights, depending on how they separate these matches, you can have Io and Bayley steal the show. You could have Becky and Rhea steal the show. You can have that 6-women tag team match steal the show. I mean, Drew and Seth could steal the show. The IC title can steal the show. I mean, it's stacking after stacking. So I think with this WrestleMania, and me and Nick never agree most of the time, so we're not going to agree here. I think the standard of if you're not opening the show, you're closing the show. If you're not closing the show, you're opening the show. I think with this WrestleMania, I don't see it fitting there.
I'm not saying that isn't a possibility. I mean, I feel like that there's people that are upset about the whole fact that there's a WrestleMania winner in Bayley who's not main eventing a show or main eventing a night or anything. That there's no. I can see KJF. I'm not mad.
No, I was wondering, like I haven't noticed a lot of, like, I remember last year with Charlotte, a lot of people were like, well, this isn't fair because the tag titles got the main event of night one. I don't feel like there's been a lot of outcry. Maybe I've missed it. That's why I'm asking. Like, I honestly,
to me, I think it's more of the outcry of that there's no women's main event, period. Like, think about it, for the past 3-4 years, there's now essentially, since Charlotte and Becky and Ronda set that kind of precedent in a sense, there hasn't been a WrestleMania main event that one of the nights outside of obviously the tag team last year, to where there wasn't any women's main event, any women's prominent match or anything like that. And I feel like that's very much gone by the wayside when it comes to WrestleMania 40.
I thought, and this is just my thinking, I thought when they created a 2-night WrestleMania, on top of, like, you know, not having an 8-hour show on one night, I thought it was the opportunity for them to have 2 main events, one night main event by the women, the other night main event by the men. And I think, and it has been outcry this year, but I think the outcry was because at the Royal Rumble, they announced that both winners would receive a main event spot. They did say that this year. I went back and rewatched it, and I think that's what the outcry is about. Bayley won, Cody won, so both should be main eventing one night each. And I don't think we're getting that this year. And I think that is the outcry. I think if they just would have said they're getting a world title opportunity at WrestleMania, it would have been okay. But this year specifically, they did say main event.
Yeah, which
so fuck you, Dwayne.
They went through that last year because that was the same thing. They were aware of the wording. We'll change the wording. They get a title shot. And I mean, at the end of the day, the story and the angle has to call for the main event spot. I mean, even if you're a male athlete on the roster this year, you're like, fuck, these guys are main eventing both nights? Shit. But I get the problem for sure.
Well, that's even been an outlying issue of, does the Bloodline storyline as a whole, everything with that main event picture, outweigh everything else on the WrestleMania card?
Technically, yeah. It's your biggest draw.
Yeah.
Right? But does it make everything kind of just an add-on, special features?
No, because we're already talking about how great the card is around it. So you have this really cool main event, but everything else around it is also really good and has a lot of potential to steal the show from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think so. But all right, enough with the brothers. Let's move on to this a good old 6-pack challenge.
Jesus, top 10 Christ.
Man, I was so mad at this match when I had to
so many people.
I'm like, I can almost fit them all in. Let's go. Anthony, what are your thoughts on the 6-pack?
I guess I'm gonna start it off with a question. Could this be the end of the Judgment Day?
Yes.
As we know it, because we've seen the little dissension. We've seen they didn't know Dominic Mysterio was going to show up on SmackDown and do what he did. So could Damian Priest and Finn Balor lose those titles at WrestleMania, which I personally believe they are? To who, I don't know, but I don't think they're walking out of this match as the champions at WrestleMania.
This is the awesome truth. And anyway, this is the awesome truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God, I feel, when it comes to this situation.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead. I know you're.
I listen. I don't care what happens in this match. I don't care who goes through what.
Yep.
All I know is this match has to end with R-Truth pulling down the belts. That is the moment you need. That's a WrestleMania moment to never forget. That is what I'm paying to watch on whatever night we get this one. I think it will be a night one match, but I think R-Truth, the only other thing they could do is R-Truth has it and then somebody shags them. And I really don't want that to happen. But I think that moment, Philly will fucking explode if R-Truth yanks down those belts.
Yeah, I think you made my decision. I didn't think of R-Truth, being that one to grab those titles. He's on the roll right now. He's really on a roll. Everyone's behind him. I did have an initial pick of maybe DIY, but no, I think you have that moment with R-Truth at WrestleMania, him pulling down the titles and Philadelphia exploding, like literally exploding that R-Truth is a champion.
And quickly, further to your point, Anthony, if R-Truth is the one to pull down the belts, the Judgment Day then can look at Damian and go, "That's all your fault."
True. Yeah. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Like the light bulb just went off in my head.
Right.
Now, 2 questions. A, does this become a match of we split the titles and you grab one title, you grab that title versus you grab the other title? And B, do we see a surprise entrance? Because this has been the most talked about opportunity for a surprise competitor at WrestleMania. And I feel like it could be get up, drop the bombshell.
I can't fit any more dudes on the fucking thing, dude.
I'm not asking you to. Trust me, you're getting praise of holy shit. You get more people than WWE could.
Would they go 7 teams? Would there be a surprise team with this? That's interesting.
Bro, they've had more people than this at any time. Like in a ladder match, like this is some NXT just commonplace for them, I feel.
I did see something about maybe these two over here at the end. I cannot remember their names. Austin Theory. There we go. Austin Theory. I couldn't remember his name. Austin Theory.
The douche canoes.
Yeah, their team not being involved. I've seen that they might be pulled. I've seen that a lot today. I've seen that a lot today. And I've also seen the rumors of a popular TNA tag team replacing them.
MCMG.
So I don't know.
Ooh.
I mean, I've said that, and then I was like, "Are you shitting me? They're gonna do that?" I mean,
I wonder if
you're gonna do a team that's gonna be there for a hot minute versus a hot weekend. That's the team that's gonna do it.
Yeah, I wondered, like, would it get the reaction? Now, Anthony, you were live for Jordan Grace, so maybe you'll have a better take on it. My only fear is if they were like, "Oh, we need we're looking, who's the surprise team filling in for whoever," and then their music hits, it might have a bit of a, at least, at first.
Yeah, I was there live for Jordan Grace. I do believe it was, I don't want to take away from her moment. I do believe it was oversold by the IWC a bit. Okay. Being there live, literally in my section, it was me and the dude next to me. There were people, I literally heard people say, who is she?
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
Far on the opposite side of the arena, there were loud TNA chants. Okay. But from where I sat, it was literally me and the other dude next to me. So I don't know. Jordan Grace is not bigger than the Motor City Machine Guns, though. And the Motor City Machine Guns have been around a very, very long time. So it could be that big explosion, but it also could be that Jordan Grace type pop as well. I don't know.
Ooh. Now I'm trying to remember where the Royal Rumble was this year versus WrestleMania is going to be in Philadelphia. And I think, like, I know on one hand, WrestleMania is the conference to end all conferences, is the convergence of all wrestling fans. But still in Philadelphia, and you have that go up, like, it is still a little bit of a smart mark audience, I feel, that might be a little with it. Not saying I could be proven wrong, but I'd rather have a team that's going to be there for the long haul than a short haul.
Fact. Yeah. And I mean, again, you might not get that big, like, oh my God, pop, because, obviously the Dudley's music hits, everyone loses their fucking noodle. But the good thing is if MCMG get in that match and then show up.
Oh yeah, you're gonna make a fucking fan.
By the end of the match, whether they win or lose, people are gonna be like, okay, who are these guys?
Who are these guys? Exactly. And if you do it like they did the Royal Rumble and like run down the Motor City Machine Guns on commentary, at least for the fans at home, you'll get that buzz from the IWC. Now, like you just said, if they show up and show out in that match, killer, you got the crowd behind them instantly.
Yeah, that's a valid point. So very intriguing. I mean, will somebody be taken out of this match? We got 2 more shows to go, Monday and Friday. Will all 6 teams make it there? Do they add a 7th? Very interesting. I don't care about the New Catch Republic. They can leave, I guess.
I don't like that.
I was going to say, I feel like I like that we're all trying to come up with different people that outside of the Awesome Truth that could win it. Like, we're just like, well, if they just completely get rid of this one team and add another team in entirely different, then maybe it could be competitive. Like, at this point, it's clearly Awesome Truth. It is no debating. It is, you could add the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, the fucking, Bad Street Bully Boys, whatever fucking team you want to add. This is the Awesome Truth in here.
That's my thing. I want that moment. I think R-Truth has deserved it. He came back from that. He went down to NXT and blew his knee out. He gets back to wrestling, and ever since he returned at Survivor Series, he's been one of the most talked about people in wrestling in 2024. It's been outstanding.
Does little Jimmy count the fucking pinfall here?
Now, some people have said that there's a chance that one team pulls down the Raw belts, one team pulls down the SmackDown belts, and then there's an argument, and then they're like, screw it, we'll split them.
Well, we've talked about that, and I think if you're going to do that, you need to clarify that beforehand. You on a WrestleMania weekend,
just on a whim
in Philadelphia, which, let's be honest, it's Philadelphia. You don't want to have too much confusion or anything like that. You want everything clear as crystal here.
Fair enough. I mean, potentially. Yeah, I mean, I don't love the idea. Like you said, if you're not going into it with that idea to kind of spring it at the end of we didn't know what to do. I don't love it.
No. Well, and even half the time you see most of those matches to where someone will pull down a Raw belt and the part R-Truth will pull down a Raw belt and the Miz will pull down a SmackDown belt. What the fuck are we gonna do then? They're one half of each tag team divisions.
Right. Does MCMG get the same pop as AJ got?
How much do they focus on Roman Reigns? That's the question.
What do you mean?
Because when AJ came out, they focused really hard on Roman Reigns.
The
Royal Rumble. It was a joke.
I missed it.
But
Motor City Machine Guns should have a feud with Awesome Truth if they show up. Listen, like I said, my prediction in this match, because realistically, could any of these teams win? Yeah, Triple H loves DIY. The New Day are vets. But I want that R-Truth moment.
No, I agree. I really want that R-Truth moment. After you said it earlier, I was like, no, that makes sense. Give it to R-Truth.
Yeah, you could add Swimmy, Schwammy, whatever fucking team you want to add into this match. You can make this a 20-man on one fucking ladder match. The Awesome Truth leave here. R-Truth is leaving as your tag team champion.
Yeah, and I do believe they have opened WrestleMania shows with ladder matches before.
Yeah.
So this may be a candidate to start one of the shows, one of the nights.
Yeah. I agree.
Right. All right. So I think we're pretty covered on this one. Up next for the U.S. title, Lukey Paul and KO and RKO all in one match.
Lukey Paul.
Lukey Paul.
That what the fuck you just called him?
Yeah.
What?
Hatui. How do you step foot on this U.S. title match? Hatui.
All right. So honest opinions for this match for me. This is the second least favorite match that I'm excited to see.
This man's about to pick pro Logan Paul.
The first match that I'm not excited to see, I will save that for when that match happens.
Okay.
But this one right here, yeah, I don't really care about it. I don't care who wins. I do feel like it's going to be Logan Paul, but this one, I ain't feeling it at all.
One vote for the Logie. What do you got?
I'm out there. I work with your fucking doppelganger every fucking day here. So this 100% is a Kevin Owens win here. There's been talks about a Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes feud past this. You've already pitched about the idea of a Randy Orton Roman Reigns feud. Like, Randy Orton may or may not have bigger fish to fry, especially with his limited time that he has still going. Right. So I think this is fully a Kevin Owens win, and you could even still run it back if you need to between Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. This is a Kevin Owens win, clearly.
I think this is one of the hardest matches on the entire card to predict because really it's a roll of the dice. I'm leaning Logan Paul just because what he's done with this title and him beating these two guys, if that doesn't validate him even further, I mean, not much will. Like, if you're at the point
this
where...
is just saying things, so it doesn't look like that Houston Rockets player. So it looks like he's got insider information, just gonna bet on himself.
I don't think I think Kevin Owens would be my third pick. Sorry, KO, I love you, but I think that it's either Randy or Logan.
So,
well,
no, where do you go past this? If you're Logan, if you're a US champ, if you are Randy, US champ,
you could technically do like Randy Logan Backlash.
So
that's true.
Okay.
Randy.
You could run a Randy Orton LA Knight feud after Backlash.
Ooh.
With maybe having LA Knight have a crowning moment at SummerSlam as the US champion. I don't know.
Lucha Logan ain't leaving empty-handed. It's so hard to bet against Logan. I think this is a validating match for him.
I feel like he's kind of had those validating matches though. Like, what else does he need to prove? Like, are we expecting Logan to be a world champ?
Maybe. Why wouldn't he be? Why couldn't he compete?
My heartbeat still. You just made my shit fucking palpitate there. Logan Paul is still world heavyweight champion in WWE.
But I was being romantic.
I mean, he stood toe to toe with Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel
and got his ass beat.
He's come a long way because I remember being so adamant against that fucking booking that I thought it was so bad that they booked Logan. But I mean, it was in Saudi Arabia, so I forgave them. But I think what Logan's done, what he's done as far as name value goes, yeah, man, he could definitely have a title on his shoulder one day, whether we like him or not.
I will not knock how they have booked Logan or anything like that because I praise them for that. He's become one of the best celebrity pro wrestlers outside of, Chambea and everything. But as far as a world title, nah, you can have that. That's exactly what I'm mad at.
I mean, I know he just said that he has quit boxing to focus on professional wrestling.
How you quit some shit you weren't at?
I don't.
You weren't really doing.
You weren't there. I just started this shit.
He can win that world title.
What? Yeah, I think the way he's been, and again, I think the WWE loves like the working the social media, using the added views. They want to build their audience. Is he going to beat Roman Reigns? Probably not. But if something gets shuffled up, or how the WWE do, Logan shows up on a Monday.
Logan versus Cody Rhodes.
You. What?
Logan versus Cody Rhodes. You're there for that?
I think that could work.
All right.
As a feud?
All right.
Pure babyface against one of the biggest douches on the planet?
Yes.
Right. I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying all right.
No, I agree with Christopher here. This is how I think this is going to play out: is KO and Orton team up on each other, get mad at each other, and Logan finds a way to steal this victory.
That sounds about right. That sounds just about right. And maybe whoever, I don't know that dude that Logan is always with, that, or I should say that's always with Logan. Maybe he gets involved some type of way. I don't know.
I can see KSI being there again.
Yeah.
This man's won't go away.
Jesus. Prime bottle.
I will say the split, I mean, it looks like between Randy and Logan. A lot of people, Randy Logan.
Yeah. I don't see
or
too
KO.
many KOs in the chat.
That's fine. So when I win double here.
And it pains me not to pick KO for obvious reasons.
You're picking against you.
I might know something. I might not have it in me.
Yeah, instead of trading, you motherfucker.
Right. I want to win, but what can we do?
I mean, you always choose the Canadians.
Sorry, Anthony.
Right.
You always choose the Canadian, so I'm kind of shocked here.
Shit. Other than Jody Threat, I never picked Jody Threat.
you and Jody Threat got beef.
Until Backlash of the Saudi show, KO turns heel with interesting heel KO.
Well, and he's even mentioned about Logan being there at SummerSlam, which is going to be in Cleveland.
That's another reason why I would pick Logan. They've already started talking
about hold that belt till fucking Cleveland.
I didn't.
Yeah.
SummerSlam.
Yes. It's only 2 months.
Miz.
Right.
3. What?
The Miz couldn't do that.
No, come on. The Miz instead of Logan in 2024.
Well, I'm getting my personal feelings involved.
You want the Miz to go into like
fuck about Logan?
I don't even care that the Miz is the other half of Awesome Truth. I just want Truth to win.
You just want Miz. You didn't even mention the Miz at all.
It could be
I'm there with Logan. I don't give a shit. It's someone that's not Logan.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It could be Machine Gun Kelly wins it, bro. I give a fuck.
Well, sorry, he's busy. Eminem buried him. We're good. What if Randy versus Owens at Backlash because they might turn on each other? So a lot of people could potentially feel in that vibe. By the way, folks, welcome. I see a whole bunch of people hanging out with us here tonight. Thank you for joining us. We got a few more matches to get into, and I will take a second before we get to the next match. Remind everybody we are back tomorrow live, 30 minutes before the show starts. We are the pre-show to the pre-show. We will be kicking off. We're here all week long. We're also covering Bloodsport this week. We're covering Supercard of Honor. We're covering a whole bunch of shit all week long. And then we have our Mania Marathon next week. Starts at 11:30 a.m. And we don't go home till the wrestling does. So be here. All right. A lot of people saying the same thing. I did take a breath. We're good. But all right, folks, let's go on to the next match because I think we're good with this one.
Shimana Haya, Shimana Honda.
This one is very interesting. The IC title is on the line.
Let's go.
Really?
I feel like you've been totally opposed to that up until now.
I didn't even say that was my prediction. I just sang the man's fucking theme song. And y'all just took that as my prediction.
I did. I definitely took it as your pick.
Right. I didn't say shit.
Way to assume, guys.
Right. Way to make an ass out of you and me.
2025. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Sammy Gunther. How do we see this going?
Gunther. It is easily Gunther for me. That man continues that reign. I'm a huge fan of Gunther. I can't bet against that man. It's like when Bianca Belair was kind of on her roll for a year, and there were a few times when I bet against Bianca Belair and I was completely wrong. I'm not doing that this time. I'm not.
Yeah, how that work versus Becky at the last WrestleMania too. How that worked out.
It's definitely Gunther retaining that title at WrestleMania. If he doesn't, I'm gonna be shocked. Honestly, if Sammy wins, I'm gonna be shocked.
I'm going Sammy. Sorry, I'll take the shot.
Canadian.
I told you I have to redeem myself after not taking KO last one. I think Sammy wins this, because and Nick and I talked about this recently, and I disagreed with Nick, and Nick ended up being right as far as how they played it. Because I would have had Sammy beat Bronson. Nick went against that and was right. So they've buried Sammy. So the underdog from the underground with a pop-up. But I've said for a long time, Gunther challenging whoever the World Heavyweight Championship, whoever's holding that championship going into Germany, that is the matchup. That's the main event, is Gunther versus the champion when we get to, we go overseas.
Yeah, you get Gunther versus Roman, and you're going to do it. You're going to do it in Berlin. Yeah, it's amazing. It's fantastic.
Right?
Yeah, you're 100%. Gunther at this point has reached. There's nothing left that he can accomplish with that belt anymore, undeniably. And now you have nothing but a way that you can have somebody that can be involved, whether it's Gable versus Sammy, anything like that. You have layers that you can open, avenues you can open, versus Gunther was a roadblock. And now you have him going towards the world title. If it's Gunther versus Drew SummerSlam, maybe, perhaps.
I've always had it to where Gunther doesn't lose the IC title, he relinquishes it. I've been that gung-ho dude with that theory for about a year now. He wins whatever world title he wins, and then he relinquishes the IC title. I'm gonna stick behind that. Until I'm proven wrong. I could be proven wrong in what, 6 days, but
6 days.
I'm still behind that.
That's juicy because Gunther really could be that champion that said, all right, well, I'm good with this. I've done enough. Here's my belt. I'm gonna go after another one.
No one can beat me for this, so I vacated because no one can beat me.
Yeah, very possible. Someone, Sir Keyshawn, saying Gunther holds the belt till Ilya shows up.
Ooh.
Well, no, KJ, you've sat there and said they become fucking people. Let me tell you about my best friend.
What I like about the idea of Sammy winning is it does really open up the IC division. Like, as far as the door goes, you got Bronson Reed has a win over Sammy. Chad Gable could go heel on Sammy. You have Ricochet in the mix now, where none of them feel like they could beat Gunther. They all feel like they could possibly beat Sammy. It makes it more competitive, I think.
Yeah.
You drop that level instead of, I am the Gunther. I am going to just chop you in the chest until you give out here. If he taps, he taps type of shit.
If he bleeds, he bleeds.
Yeah, if he dies, he dies.
KJ is going through the chat right now, and it's not a lot of people taking Sammy. I think I might have seen 2.
It's heavy. It's heavy Gunther. I think we got maybe 4. Gable Sammy feud comes out of this. Yeah, I mean, could Gable cost Sammy the title? Ooh, I don't like it.
I'd rather see Sammy versus Gable for the title than Gable cost Sammy the title. It's like it's one of those of like, well, you can't beat him, so I'm gonna make sure you can't fucking beat him. Like, wait, what?
Right. Shut up, Boston. It's close.
Austria, yeah. It's amazing. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Even if it's in France, if it's Backlash, I think he's so big in that European market that it would make sense that
I'm still telling you right now, spoiler alert, and it's not a spoiler, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler alert. I said it backwards.
Gotcha.
You get Roman Reigns versus Gunther in Berlin for the world title.
Ooh. That's assuming that he still has the belt, but we'll get there.
Again, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
Right. Brandon saying, does he surpass 1,000 days as IC champ? Just keep the fucking belt forever?
Has he? Well, he's managed to not only pass the honky tonk, he's also managed to pass the collective of like the most that anyone as an IC champ has ever held the title consecutively or compared together.
Yeah. According to the WWE website, when he gets to WrestleMania, he'll be at 664 days as champ. So
my fear is everything they've done to build up the IC title will start losing a little luster if you don't have competitive matches. And as much as I love Gunther and he has great matches, we're running out of people that we believe are going to beat him. Unless you're bringing back Strowman to take him on, like what are we going to do?
No, that's true.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it that way.
But I don't know. He could keep being champion. Gunther versus Drew in Germany. There you go. Matt
but you have the competitive matches with Sammy versus Gable, with Gable versus that person, with so-and-so versus that person, with a Sammy versus a Bronson Reed. Are those still all as competitive if it wasn't Gunther attached to it?
They definitely feel more up in the air for sure. I would think. Yeah. A lot of people saying Dragunov's coming for him, Sammy not winning. Yeah, Gunther, rest in peace, Sammy. That's why I think that makes this Sammy win so good. Is everyone's like, oh, Sammy's dead.
Sammy's not winning.
Now, how do we feel that Sammy saw the comments allegedly running, according to Booker T, who's an incredible source, about how people were upset about him winning and the response to that, etc., to where Sammy was expecting more of, happy that he had won, the spot to challenge Gunther, when it turned out it was more of boo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like, is it just that Sammy wanted more people cheering for him and less people, he thought his win would be over and he was a little bummed out that it wasn't? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm convinced that the IWC doesn't watch Raw and SmackDown sometimes because I think it was clear that it was going to be Sammy winning. Even with the promos he was doing in the stands, it was clear that he was trying to get to a championship at WrestleMania. So sometimes I'm convinced that the IWC is literally watching Dynamite when Raw is on. Because clearly it's always been Sammy.
Yeah,
it was never Gable. It was never Gable for you.
No,
I thought the Gable thing was over after their last match, like in what was it, October?
You know what was funny, Anthony? They ran they did the vignette for Gable, and everyone was like, "They did a vignette for Gable. He's got to win." They did a vignette for everybody in the gauntlet match.
Right. His shoulders was up. His shoulders was up.
His shoulders were up. Well, maybe that will play into the storyline post-Mania. Yeah, no, I agree with Anthony. I thought it was Sammy the whole way. It made sense. They were building it. Yeah, I mean, again, another match where you can flip a coin. This could go either way. Most people think Gunther. I'm sticking Sammy all the way on this one.
I'm Sammy.
All right. And
I definitely got Gunther. So
all right. Up next, we're getting into some more gold as Bayley will take on Io Sky.
Is this an obvious decision?
No, not at all.
I got Bayley.
Okay, that's you feel Bayley's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony?
I do feel like Bayley is obvious.
I'm going Io Sky.
I haven't thought anything different.
Okay. I'm going Io Sky. Fuck it. I'm not rowing this boat. I adore Io Sky. Bayley's probably going to win, but I'm again the match where I think you can make sense of Bayley not winning and continuing to chase. And Bayley loves putting over the youngsters.
She does. I don't know. I haven't envisioned a type of match with Io winning at WrestleMania. Like I have not. It's always to me been Bayley. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, we've even talked about how this match could have been should have almost been a main event because it was a Royal Rumble winner and everything like that. We've had almost a secondary match built off of, allies of Bayley's that need to take out Damage Control and everything like that. I respect to Pamela, but yeah, I don't see to where she could lose this match, and it doesn't hurt her drastically, and B, like
drastically.
I don't. Go ahead.
Sorry, drastically. Bayley would be hurt if she lost. You think?
Where do you put her after this?
It's Bayley. She can keep chasing. She doesn't have to she's not retiring after this match.
I'm not all right. So
I don't think
the definition of drastically differs between US and Canada, but I'm saying I don't think she wouldn't be, she's not instantly into the fucking title picture after this. If
Why
she
not?
loses this match, so you're gonna put someone instantly in the title picture after they just lost it?
It happens all the time. It's called the chase.
Yeah,
it happens all the time. Like if she gets
we've got this woman that we've got.
You're telling me,
so Bayley
never ever
over Naomi, over Bianca,
you're telling me,
we just skip
never
everything
in wrestling ever. Never in wrestling ever has someone been screwed out of a title.
No, I'm not saying that. No.
Never happened.
Again, apparently this is lost in translation between the U.S. and the Canadian border.
Oh, apparently.
I'm saying that I think that Bayley. Now you got me fucking fucked up as to
you don't know.
There's so many different options that this match can happen, dude. But to me, Bayley has to win this match because we've set this up enough. We've set this whole trajectory here. Io has still got enough time here. She could still have a long run as a champion. She's still got enough hold on her career and everything like that. To me,
I'm going to wave the rare flag here because I agree with Nick. I do. I didn't even say that. I don't think it drastically. I don't know if that was the right term. I don't think it drastically impacts Bayley. But if you ask anybody in the fandom, Bayley has always been the one that's been overlooked, and I feel like.
You literally have Mercedes that's a fucking
Charlotte, between Becky Lynch, it's always been Bayley, the one that has been overlooked. I feel like you have to capitalize on this moment. I don't think we need to see more of a chase. She's chased enough. She needs that moment. She needs that WrestleMania moment, and I think it's this one. She's built up Damage Control. She needs to be the one to tear it apart.
But it shouldn't be torn apart. And that's why I like Io for the win. Wait, relax.
What the fuck did you just say? It shouldn't be torn apart. It's already been torn apart. What the fuck are you saying?
Wait. Damage Control's
torn apart. I'm genuinely asking.
Damage Control not better? Like they are better than they've ever been with these four women together. It's not torn apart at all. What are you watching?
I was asking a question to understand.
No, you weren't.
No, I said what, and I was asking to understand.
Damage Control looks really good right now, and you have the women's tag belts. I love the idea of them keeping the gold, and with all these baby faces, Naomi, Jade potentially, Belair's still a baby face, Bayley's still a baby face. Them being a heel faction, kind of like we got with the Judgment Day. I love the idea of them keeping all the gold. That's my reasoning. I could be wrong. I'm just guessing. It hasn't happened.
I didn't say nothing. That's a two parlay question there. So you assume that Damage Control just wins out on WrestleMania weekend?
No, I still think they lose because the titles aren't on the line. So if they lose,
that sets up your challenger.
What?
If you lose on the six-person match, I was saying that sets up your challenger for the tag titles.
100%. So I like the idea that they lose early in the night, but they help Io win. And then they got to keep battling. I don't know, but I don't think this ruins Bayley either way. The one thing Anthony said that I did like, though, Bayley hasn't really had that big WrestleMania moment. She hasn't had a WrestleMania singles match. this could be it. I hate that, but it could be.
I'm waiting for Nick to say something.
Don't worry, he mentioned you. He said this point that Anthony brought up. Why am I being the one that's waiting to say it?
Right.
I was never mentioned in any of that statement.
Damage Control stronger than ever. Thank you. Yeah, no, I think Damage Control has been awesome. And they just got their lead. They've only had their leader for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, a month, maybe. Dakota just got in that
You
role.
don't even know how long they've had their leader.
It's just been a couple weeks. It really has been a short amount of time.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I pick a number, eventually I'll be right?
Right? No, they literally just got Dakota at the helm. They need to. I mean, again, why would you break up Damage Control? You just got them together the way they are now.
But we're talking about the fucking end of Judgment Day.
And
okay, now I'm
yeah. Anyway, Julia shows up, changes Bailey or challenges Bailey. Julia shows up and helps Damage Control.
I was like, wait, Julia Hart or Julia from Stardom? I was like, which Julia are we talking about?
I believe they were Julia from Stardom.
I understand now.
Yeah. MDB, I think Bianca loses. No, we've already talked about that, so we'll keep that moving forward. All right, so I'm going EO. You two are going Bailey.
Yep,
that's perfectly okay.
Correct.
Good. All right, next match that we can yell about: Rhea taking on Becky.
Are we gonna yell about this, or are we just gonna all say Rhea wins?
Ooh. Yeah, Rhea wins.
Rhea wins.
Yep.
We don't have to talk about it too much.
Moving on.
It's going to be a hell of a match. Anybody picking Becky for the upset?
Too distinct face or not distinct face? That is the question.
Yeah, I'm not picking Becky for a surprise or anything. This is Rhea Ripley's time. She retains.
Yeah, I agree. Does Liv or Nia Jax at Mania? I don't think maybe not. Save that for Raw.
Women's Battle Royal.
If they have it. Yeah.
Had Julia. All right. This one actually going to be really easy. Becky, old news. Ripley wins. Alexa Bliss confronts her. Yes, let's go.
Oh. You have that.
Yeah. Mammy retains. Becky, Dom costs Rhea with Nia Jax. His new mommy.
Bro, you're out here just Dom is a chubby chaser, is what you're saying. And I'm all for it, but here I'm like, no, he's going from one Dommy mommy with Rhea to now he's going to Nia. Dom is just a simp out here for his latest Dommy mommy ride here.
100% a simp. The only way, so a couple of people said it, the only way that Rhea loses is if Dom costs her. Rhea's not losing. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if she loses to Becky Lynch in any capacity.
And I honestly don't see anybody that's legitimately taking the man. No, the man will likely come along and wins the title. All right, so maybe one. All right, so that one's easy. We can pass that one. Yeah. We're down to the final couple.
Prediction of the show.
If it comes to fruition, yeah, it's a slam dunk. I think a lot. Anybody varying from that?
No.
No. So yeah, you're right, Nick.
Yeah. You want to argue on this one?
On this match?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to put it out to the people. So we got night one, the Bloodline taking on Cody and Seth with stipulations. If Cody can't win, then all bets are off for night two. And if Cody does, nobody's allowed around. So let's see how this goes. And I'll actually skip the line. That is what I think is going to happen.
Ooh. I like that. I like that.
Right. Gentlemen.
Anthony, what you got?
I got Roman and Rock. I have them winning. I don't see it any other way, to be honest.
I have Cody and Seth, and Cody pins to win.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I think we're sitting up in the future of a Dwayne Cody match and everything. And I know the whole philosophy of if we can set this more of we're throwing more obstacles, anything in the front of Cody Rhodes that he has to overcome. So it makes like it's the greatest triumphant thing when he does overcome it. Spoiler
I guess
alert,
my question,
I don't think he overcomes it. So I feel like it almost might be more impactful if there's no interference or anything. There's no escape. There's no Solo or Jimmy show up. That's always been the excuse for Roman. If Roman beats Cody outright, then what?
I think the question I kind of want to ask you, but it will lead into the Cody and Roman match.
Yeah, I just gave a whole my spoiler prediction. So
because I know we actually talked about it on Thursday on the TNA stream. So if Cody not takes the pin, but Cody, actually wins this match, I'm assuming because you said you're thinking they're setting Cody and The Rock up, I'm assuming you're having Roman retain.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, spoiler alert. But yeah, I think even I would almost say win, lose, or draw, whatever happens in this match, Roman retains.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like the idea. Again, we already kind of touched on the idea that you bury, you stack the odds against the challenger. You make it the idea that there's no rules, that anybody can get involved, but it also opens the door for that issue between Roman and The Rock, any miscommunication, any type of angle beyond that. But I really think, plus I think it leads into having everyone go, oh shit, Cody's definitely not winning. And that is what I like about it.
Right.
So I got to go with the Samoans on this one.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you with the Samoans.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Drew interferes. Seth gets pinned with the Claymore. That is a possibility. Especially because this match is happening before that match.
Right.
To my knowledge.
What about to where everyone wants to talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena showing up in the World Title match? What if done shows up in this match?
I honestly don't care about John Cena. I've been very vocal about how I don't like that man. But I don't want Stone Cold. I don't want John Cena involved in none of this. Let this be strictly Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Rock, Roman, and the Bloodline. Let it just fall like that.
I think Stone Cold, Austin, Undertaker, a bunch of people are going to be at WrestleMania. I do not think they need to be injected into this.
Fair enough. I said it's one of those to me of if Cody feels like if Cody needs help to finish the story, I feel like it invalidates the story of like, well, you need an assistant. So, yeah, I mean, you're supposed to be the babyface. You don't need assistance. You overcome all odds here.
I hate to disagree with you, my friend, because we don't like doing that. But
yeah, we never do that ever. But so you're telling me that if John Cena sat there and helped raise the hand of Cody Rhodes,
I will tell you what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Breathe. You're good. What I'm saying is, you said the baby face doesn't need assistance, yet we just had a whole segment about how Jey and Seth and he has assistance. I'm not saying it should be Cena or The Rock or anyone else or Stone Cold, but he's definitely not doing this on his own. He's got help.
But it does feel like a little bit if you don't finish the story on your own. Does that not feel a little like, let me copy off of your homework and just let me change the answers so it doesn't look like I copied? Like,
everyone who's tried
this is a little of the Rhodes Avengers here.
Everybody who's tried to take down the tribal chief gets the roadblock that is his family. Having people take out his family and assist you so you can get a one-on-one with the
baby
champion.
faces assemble.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's what the most fun about all this is. Is Seth going to turn on Cody? Is The Rock and Roman going to get along? What is going to happen? This is a kerfuffle. Nobody knows who's going to be picked.
What if, and this is an off base, off the wall theory, okay? Roman and Rock win. Seth takes the pin. Not Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest cashes in right after. And then night two, we get Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Bro, that was my bonus question because I know how he feels. But I never even thought of it from that take of, just change the match altogether. Seth isn't 100%. Damian versus Drew for the title. Man, that's not bad.
Woo! Ain't no way, ain't no how, ain't not gonna happen. You have that. That's exactly what I'm mad at.
Bloodline. I mean, the chat's pretty decently split. I think we got a little more Bloodline votes than Seth and Cody. That is really interesting. I mean, we've been debating the Money in the Bank for days now. I know Nick thinks because you didn't cash it in the first 6 months, it's pointless. But at the end of the day, I'll put whatever I want in your mouth. Oh,
no fuck on that.
I'm picking Roman and The Rock. Bloodline wins. It won't be Trey because Cody is winning the title. Now we're gonna get there. I don't want to start that fight yet. And then we'll circle back to the Money in the Bank. How about we do that?
Okay, I like that.
All right, I agree with Anthony. There you go.
I got a few people to agree with me. Okay,
dude. As much as I petitioned that this it could happen, I've never thought of it from that angle. Of like, oh shit, wait a minute.
If it happens, y'all can hear it first. It happened on the Wrestling for Life Network. I said it. So
there you go. I'll clip and quote that for sure.
Don't worry.
All right. It won't happen. All right. Let's get on to the other Speak of the Devil match, which now might be Damian Priest. We only got 2 title matches left, and they all lumped together.
This is Drew Iron Blue McIntyre here. This is fucking Shrek out here with all of his layers, everything. Drew McIntyre picks up the win here.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre easily picks up the win.
Yeah, and even if it is Damian and not Seth, he still wins.
He still wins.
You're so fucking excited about the idea of Damian cashing.
It was a new idea. I've been debating this for days.
It would be very interesting. You talk about wanting the IWC to explode in a way, like because they're not going to get Seth Rollins defending his title. That is the perfect way to do it. That is the perfect way and example to do it. I don't know.
That's filthy. I like it.
You know, a way he can't defend it is if Drew wins it. Well, that's that. He can't defend it. So, what are we talking about with challenging or anything? He can't defend it if Drew wins it here. I don't get into this whole of Damian Priest is going to cash in here. He's going to crash in there.
Now, I'm very big on not predicting the cash-ins, but that moment right there, it literally just came to me, and I'm like, that'd be cool. I'm not even gonna lie.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean that's again a different take for sure.
Yeah,
I think Priest goes after Cody. Nah, maybe. Boston Kevin, Lawanda, or distract Rock and Roman. What? So yeah, if this match is the way it is on the card. Seth, Drew, we're all taking Drew, right? Like, if now Seth is saying he's 100%, but I feel like him and Becky are going to go on like a book tour. Somebody's got to watch the kid, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, he may put a fucking bookmark in between, the pages of Becky Lynch and everything like that. But you can have that. That ain't what I'm mad at.
A lot of people. I'm with Bill. It doesn't matter who wins this match. Damian.
All right. So either way, However you feel. I feel Priest is not successfully cashing in, so I guess I'm the outlier. Do you feel Priest is cashing in on the World Heavyweight title or the WWE title?
It's always been the World Heavyweight Championship for me.
I think it's going to be the World Heavyweight Championship, and this could be a way. This is another crazy thing. All right. Remember with TNA, you had Josh Alexander win the World Heavyweight Championship, and then immediately you had Moose come out, called his shot, and won, right? Drew wants to win a title in front of fans. He can win the title in front of fans, but he doesn't have to have a long reign. Boom, Damian Priest cashes in. Like, you have your extreme moment, and then you have your extreme failure in the same span of about 7 minutes.
I like it.
So I don't know.
It's a possibility. I like it. It works. It plays well into the whole breakup of the Judgment Day of Damien's always been kind of the odd man out lately. So does it lead to more jealousy, more reason to not want him around? And I think Damien's put in the work. I think Damien's done a lot of good things for this company, and I have no problem with him being the World Heavyweight Champion. None.
Does Damien become babyface with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He slides out of the Judgment Day, I think.
Does that lead into the whole theory that Drew ends up entangled with the Judgment Day because you have that and you have Damien clearly hardcore shifting to babyface with that of going to cost Drew, and Drew is going to be on his fucking revenge tour. We've already seen it, what he's doing with CM Punk, so yeah.
Yeah, possibly. I think Seth gets injured in the tag match. That could also play into the storyline. You know, Seth loves selling his knee, so that could be a possibility.
Yeah.
What a weird
Does Seth continue on past WrestleMania, point blank period?
We don't know. A lot of speculation, right? Like if Seth comes out and says, I'm 100% healthy, I'm good, my knee's good, I'm ready to go, then maybe he doesn't need the time off, but we all think he does. So it's interesting. Drew then Priest cashes in, so you are not alone. Roman Reigns is the bloodline for the win. DM Hunk wins, sets up High versus CM Punk in the SummerSlam. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I got Drew winning this, and I don't think any sort of Damien cash in. I respectfully think if Damien cashes in, it's not successful.
You think it's going to be a failed cash in?
I think it's going to be a failure to launch. And I think it's honestly, and I know you're going to be KJ, well, they don't have to cash it in or WrestleMania and everything. But I think it's going to be one of those of that they just never pulled the trigger when they should have. Like that they waited on it a little too much. And then now you're at a point to where when you go with it, you're amongst giants. You're amongst too many stars in that fucking atmosphere.
What's changed? Seth was the champion like a year ago.
Punk,
but CM Punk can still be involved. CM Punk and Drew, does CM Punk and Drew need the names? Does CM Punk and Drew need the title to have a feud?
No,
I'm not saying even that they need to have.
I'm just giving options.
Right. Well, you're sitting there saying, so what's changed? And I'm naming wrestler.
There was always big superstars around. I think Damien has the potential to be one of those big superstars.
No, I agree. But if we take it back just a couple of months, every time Damian Priest tried to cash in, who was there to stop him? It was Drew McIntyre. It was always Drew McIntyre. It was always Drew McIntyre. I want to say off the top of my head, at least 3 times Drew McIntyre stopped that man from cashing in. So who better person for Damian Priest to cash in on than Drew McIntyre?
I can't even say nothing because man was stressed while he was about to say that. You have that. I want to see that play out then.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think we don't know, obviously, but dude just gave me I think that Anthony is spot on. It was always Drew fucking Damien. Why not return return the favor. And it could possibly, this idea that, I mean, and I've said it a million times, you have 12 months to cash in. The fact that they actually showed patience, I know wrestling fans hate patience, but you don't have to cash in the first 3 months, 5 months, 8 months, 10 months. You can go 11 months and 29 days.
Yeah.
You do not. And so this idea that, well, the moment's passed. No, I got a 12-month contract.
I mean, and if you look at cash-ins and pass, one of them was the longest waiting, which was Carmella. She cashed in after WrestleMania on Charlotte, and I think she held that briefcase for over 200 days. I think it was, and she became the longest holder of the briefcase before cashing in. So, I mean, I don't think a moment is missed. I don't think, at least with the cash-ins.
Yeah, I agree.
Fuck you and your side eye.
I mean, I don't.
I was agreeing with you, and you're sitting there giving me the side eye.
Like, in the middle
you got to say.
All right, folks, everyone out there, thank you for being with us. We are in the main event of our prediction preview show. Remember, be a friend, tell a friend, and all that fun stuff. But we'll remind you at the end of the video, the story of all stories, folks. Whose story carries on past Sunday?
Nick is holding up the ones.
Acknowledge me. This is 100% love it, hate it, run from it. It is undeniable. This is Roman Reigns retains at WrestleMania 40.
So I said about an hour ago, because we've been on stream, what, 2 hours and 5 minutes, it looks like.
Yeah,
I said about an hour ago that my second least favorite match on the card was the triple threat. This is my first least favorite match. Why? We talked about it on Thursday, Nick, with when we did TNA, that this has been Cody and The Rock. This has not been Cody and Roman. The only segment I can remember that they've had with really no bloodline involvement until the end was 2 weeks ago on Friday Night SmackDown, and that sucked. So I'm not into this match at all. But I don't think Cody Rhodes finishes the story. Last year, I was on the fence. I thought, I really thought it was going to be Cody, but I picked Roman. This year, I'm confidently picking Roman Reigns to retain the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
This is so tough. And I started this year, and I proposed the question to everybody that listens to us. Do you continue this storyline? Just because the fans want it doesn't mean they're going to get it. But as this story has progressed, my gut feeling is Cody Rhodes finds a way to win this one. And I think there's so much more at play that will keep Roman and everyone else involved relevant. I think this is because if you really, really run a risk. If Cody doesn't win it now, nobody's going to care when he does. Strike one, strike two, 2 rumbles. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think it's you sold so much of everybody's sold one way. So then when you hit them with that AI crossover and their ankles broke, and then you go down that Roman Reigns trajectory here of we get a Cody versus Rock storyline at some pay-per-view. We get a Roman versus Rock pay-per-view. We even get, to where even between that, we could get Cody takes the title off of Roman. I think that there's just still them extra layers, them extra chapters. As much as everybody's thought that The Rock's been here to help put an end to this, I think he's helped continue this along more than end it here.
I actually think The Rock might be the reason why Roman does not win. And I don't mean intentionally coming out and screwing him, but I think he has
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, or even just again, just the egos clashing, and again, if Roman, the word is Roman steps back a little bit after losing the belt, it does really set up The Rock turning around and saying, "Well, Cody, I whooped your ass all fucking WrestleMania season, and now you beat my little cousin. Well, I need to beat you for that belt back because it belongs in this family."
Could that not be the pause, and you just have that feud without the title while Roman takes his break?
You have that feud without the title, and Roman just holds on to
We've
the
seen
belt.
the feud for fucking months at this point without the title.
Exactly. I would agree with that. I think that's the problem. And like Anthony said, the weakest part of this angle is Cody and The Rock. Cody and Roman.
Yeah.
That Friday segment was garbage.
I've said for the longest time, I said I feel like that Roman's been outshadowed and outplayed and outclassed. He's outmanned and outgunned by his own cousin here in this whole segment. So even if you sat there and took the whole, look at your mama or look at your boy, Mama Rose and everything, and you sat there and turned around and switched that, and that was Roman instead of The Rock.
Yeah.
10 times better almost, playing into this WrestleMania story here versus this. I feel like now we've just switched past this. We've moved past this. We're going already into a Rock versus Cody angle to set up down the road even further.
With Cody as the champ, I think it works real nice. My fear is there's only so many times you can gather everybody up onto the bandwagon and then that fucking wagon roll into the river and not get where you're going. Eventually, people are going to stop jumping on the bandwagon and not want to be a part of the fucking tour. That's my take on it. Is do people like how long? People are already tired of hearing about the story. How much fucking longer are they going to keep us going about the story that never ends? Lamb chop.
This is the song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. But what if you go to this to where it's just Roman and Cody? You have no outside interference, so you can't use the viable excuse of, well, Roman just always has the bloodline show up and it helps him win the match and everything. And so Roman wins, beats him clean, and just fucking decimates him, goes and establishes back to where Roman's the fucking badass. And now Cody's got to go in trials and tribulations. Hard times out here, baby. It's hard times. And he's got to sit there and go through Dwayne. He's got to go through this. He's got to go through that.
Yeah. I think if Cody Rhodes loses clean and gets dominated, as you just described, he should pack his bags and go call Tony Khan. That's what I think happens there if he gets dominated. If he gets like, dude, I mean, how long do you expect people to just?
But that's the double-edged sword that you walked though, of like, you can't have Roman get assistance because then everyone's be like, well, that's the only way that Roman can win a fucking match.
That is how he wins his matches, though. I mean,
right, but that's what I'm saying is, so if you switch it up, heaven forbid, terribly, God forbid, that they might have to actually, course correct and actually book around that and everything, versus if that's just the every way that he wins his matches.
Yeah, I don't feel like they want that course correction. They brought they've been doing this for a reason. Like, it's a strategic approach to Roman and the heel Roman that keeps him in that regard, where people are fed up with him having the belt because nobody can beat him, not just because of him, but because of the people around him.
But if you've already been outshined and outshone by your cousin for months on end, maybe you need to have that moment to where you fucking establish, I am the reason that we're all fucking here. I am the reason that, puts asses in seats here. I am the one that sets the fucking tone.
Yeah, Anthony?
I don't know. I really don't. Does it ruin Cody Rhodes? Is the chase non-existent? I don't know. I really don't. I don't think it hurts Cody Rhodes in any way if he loses again. I don't know. That's just me. I think Cody has so many people behind him. You could really do because technically when he lost last year, it wasn't really a road of redemption for Cody Rhodes. He went on, he won the tag team titles with Jey. He did some odd stuff. What he had Brock Lesnar, he fought Brock Lesnar, had a feud with him. It was never really a road for redemption. Having that man lose 2 back-to-back WrestleManias, okay, let's give Cody Rhodes a year of redemption, a full year of redemption. 3-peat WrestleMania 41.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like, what? How many more promos can he cut that we haven't already heard? Where is he going to go with it? Like, that's my challenge here. Which I mean, again, I will point out, like a lot of these matches, it really could go either way, and that's what I think they've done extremely well.
You hit that hard reset button though, to where he's got to start at square one, not I start at I'm already Dusty's kid. So I'm already starting here, and then over here I got knocked down, so I start here. No, you got to start square one.
If you restart this story, people are going to throw the book out the fucking window with the windows closed. I'm kidding. That's my opinion. I don't think you can keep doing that. We just went through 12 months of that, and people are like, fuck, we get it. Story, your mama, we got it.
But that's if you go the juxtaposition to where instead you lean into the Cody and you instead lean into the villain, you lean into Roman and you lean into that story and you start to build up the him versus Rock story and everything. Then you can let Cody simmer, saute in the background while you build the Rock Cody or the Rock Roman story.
The Rock and Roman do not need a title to be involved. That's my take on that.
But they need something.
Yeah, the table.
The tribal chief, title.
But would you say right now that that's up in question?
Yes.
So you have the Rock out here, fuck your script and everything, and out here just the one laying out Cody and I'm gonna put your blood on,
like one of Roman's henchmen. Yeah,
he's been the more prominent picture. You even sat there and said that the segment between Roman and Cody sucked ass and everything like that. Right. So you're saying that Roman's still the prominent figure in this story?
Who acknowledged the chief? We were not talking about prominent. We were talking about who's the head of the table, and the head of the table is Roman. The Rock acknowledged Roman. That's why this does not need a title to continue. And at the end of the day, Rock is running around picking fights like one of Roman's henchmen. That's the way I see it. I mean, he's just like Solo and Jimmy running around and doing the thing of the teeth. What?
That's the way the chat saw.
But yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. You know what? After we literally said we were gonna, you know what? This will be a quick stream. We're just gonna jump on, do and then no, here we go. Apparently we had a lot to get into, so we are winding this one down. If nothing else, this little preview prediction show, with very little exception, a lot is up in the air going into the final week into Mania.
Yeah. A lot is up. Every match, for me, with the exception of Rhea Ripley, and Bailey, all have opportunities for the other to win. Even with this one, even though I'm confidently saying Roman Reigns is winning, Cody Rhodes literally could win and finish the story. But before we sign off, I would say if he finishes the story, what is next for him after?
Yeah, he's going to fight The Rock at SummerSlam for the title and beat him.
Okay,
but
that's my guess.
Title.
That's your guess. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it solidifies him as the champ.
Okay,
especially after taking the beating from The Rock. That's my guess. I don't know.
I like that. I like that.
But you think him and Roman do? So help me understand.
Wait, what?
Don't worry, I'll wait.
No, I asked for clarification on your statement there. When I said that The Rock and Roman needed a title.
You don't think Cody and Rock need a title, but you do. But you were more inclined to have a champion Roman take on the Raw. So
yeah, at next year's WrestleMania, yes.
I don't think they need the belt.
Valid, but I disagree.
That's fine. That's what we're supposed to do.
No, that's fine. Well, that was one. Oh no, Boston out here. Nick has been possessed by Tony Khan. I am convinced of it. And bring Nick back now. Shimon.
The power of wrestling compels you.
The power of wrestling compels you. The power of booking compels you.
Yeah. All right, boys. You ready to tag out and call this a night?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an hour ago.
I think we covered everything. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I feel like we have. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. I love seeing all the numbers in the chat. I will remind you, we are here all week long. There's even bonus streams going up. Make sure you click that bell. Know when we're going to go live. Follow us on social, because we're all over that as well, including TikTok and Discord. But as you can see, it's going to be a fun weekend. It's going to be a fun week, and we got lots to argue about. So
we do.
Thank you so much, Anthony, Big Nick.
We're going to be back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw, the go-home show for WrestleMania 40 here, and the power of the cage match compels you. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When you're talking about that wrestling, put about that full live with it.
See you on the flip side. Come back tomorrow. Good night.